What's up golfers? Today I'm showing a video of me getting the True Legend Trophy in PGA Tour 2K21. You get the True Legend Trophy by shooting par or better on 18 holes of an official course on Legend difficulty. What is Legend difficulty? Well, it's the hardest difficulty in the game, turning it into a true golf sim. No scouting shots, no reading wind speeds, no reading lies, no blue line showing your shot, none of it. This is not an easy trophy, so I'm honestly not even sure why it's bronze level, especially since it's the only difficulty-based trophy in the game. Anyways, on to my tips and tricks. You're going to want to find an easy course. I chose TPC Louisiana, but TPC Boston is a good choice too. Both of these have pretty easy fairways and drivable greens on par 4s. Any chance to 2-putt for birdie is a big boon. Also, you're going to want to give yourself a bit of a break by changing up the conditions of the course. To do this, go to the new round settings and tab over to conditions. Then set all of the course conditions to their easiest setting. So that's wind speed set to none, wind direction doesn't matter, fairway firmness is set to very soft, green firmness is also very soft, green speed is set to very slow. The time of day should be noon or afternoon and the weather to be clear. This will make it easier to read the greens based off of just your naked eye. Also, before you begin your round, make sure to set yourself up to play from the red tee. This will decrease your total play distance. So here's the first thing to know about this trophy, and if you're going to make an attempt at it. Know that it's going to take you a few tries. Personally for me, it took me over 5. It's not an easy trophy. It is going to be a bit of a grind to do. You are not expected to get this in the first try, but if you do, all power to you. I'm not really sure why you're watching this video. For everybody else though, before you even make an attempt at this trophy, get your swing timing down. It does not need to be perfect, but it needs to be consistent. If you have a fast timing, at least be consistently fast. That way you know where the ball is going to go. It is going to be a pain in your butt if you still do not have your timing down consistently, because then you are going to get some really awkward swings, and the last thing you want to do is come back from a particularly atrocious shot while playing on legendary difficulty. I know from experience. My next tip kind of goes hand in hand with the last one. Not only does your swing timing need to be down, but your swing plane also needs to be really on point. Now this one needs to be a bit more perfect than your swing timing. Swing timing is, in this game, you know, it's pretty finicky as far as like the difference between a fast and a slow swing is down to milliseconds. The swing plane though is completely in your control, and know that that's really going to come into play for the putts. When you're not able to read the greens, the last thing you want to do is to actually get a good read on it, but then your swing plane is off, and then you missed a particularly possible birdie chance. So now that your golf swing is consistent, what's next? And that would be the golf clubs. For me, whenever I did this attempt, all of my attempts were made with the default golf clubs. I feel as though they have a good hybrid between forgiveness and distance, which served me well. If you're having a harder time with your swings though, by all means, go with a more forgiving brand of golf club. As I said earlier, Legend difficulty really sets this game up to be a golf sim. As such, my next tip for you is don't get tilted. Don't get stressed out. Do not let one mistake compound into more mistakes. It's okay to make one mistake as long as you get your head back in the game to get yourself back onto the green so you can at least make par. So my next tip would be for you to make educated reads at the next shot you're going to make. Pay attention especially off of the tee shot. Pay attention to how far the green is. Pay attention to where the green curves at, where the fairway curves at. Pay attention to where's your ball going to go? What is the distance of the club that you're using? What's going to happen when it hits that distance? Where is it going to roll to after that? Where are the bunkers at? Do not just go to the tee and just take a swing. Make sure you know exactly where it is that you want to go with your swing. Continuing along that line, you also need to be very aware of lie penalties. So it's completely possible, especially going for a trophy like this, to where your shot's going to go way off and land somewhere in the weeds or in the trees or such. It's at that point that you need to pay attention to where it is that you're shooting from and where it is that you need to go. So here you'll see I land well into the weeds, and while in this case the game does give me the correct club, sometimes it will give you a club that will never reach based off of the lie. It's because the game will recommend you a club based solely off of if you are shooting off of a perfect fairway right now. It's something you need to be aware of. So don't always go with the recommended club. Like I said, make an educated read on where it is that you need to be at. So now that we're on the green, we come to the hardest part of this trophy for me, and that is the putting. Reading the greens, at least on legend difficulty, is very difficult because to the naked eye, and as far as how the game likes to shift the camera, it's still very hard to read the greens. It's super hard to do it in real life, and it's even harder to where you're not even there, especially in the very unnoticeable looking breaks. So, with that being the case, just know that it is completely okay to two putt. You want to get close to the hole, and anytime you're closer to the hole is progress. So don't expect a super long birdie putt. Just know that if you're like within about 7 feet, especially on the Louisiana course, you don't really need to worry about breakages that much. So just be completely okay with two putting. So let's say though that you do have a really good approach shot. That brings me to my next tip. Every birdie counts. Birdies give you that extra space just in case you do make a mistake. And as you'll see throughout this video, I get ahead in the front nine, but then I really start to lose it in the back nine. But those front nine birdies really saved me. So if you have a chance for a birdie, and I'm not saying a super long putt, I'm saying a completely doable birdie, then you really should focus up and land that putt because it's going to be a great deal helpful to you later on. The next tip I can give is that to try your best on the front nine versus trying to play catch up on the back nine. I feel as though if you start off with like a +3 on the front nine, it's probably better just to restart because then you're going to have to be playing catch up throughout the back nine, and it's just probably going to stress you out that you're not getting the birdies or anything else that you need at that point. It's better to come out even, at least on the front nine. That way you still have a fighting chance in the back nine. So that's pretty much all the tips that I have to give for the moment. Make sure that your swing is consistent from both the swing timing aspect. Make sure your swing plane is dang near perfection because that'll throw you off a lot of times, especially in the putting aspect of things. Make sure you pick an easy course. Make sure the course conditions are set to be the easiest for you. Don't get tilted. This is going to take multiple tries to get. Make sure you start off strong on the front nine, then on the back nine. Make sure that you're taking very educated shots. Club up if you need to. Pay attention to the distance of your club versus the distance of how far the goal is. Pay attention to the lie, penalty. Don't be afraid to mess up. You can always correct a mistake. Just make sure you just stay focused on the task at hand. And hopefully that'll get you to where you need to go and put you in the top 0.1% of people who have this trophy. So now that all the tips are done, I just want to continue watching my own video to see, just to commentate on how hard it was for me to get this trophy. This trophy was incredibly frustrating to get. I can easily admit that it's definitely up there as far as one of the harder trophies for me. I may have gotten it in a decent amount of time, but as far as like the concentration and the stress that came along with trying to get this trophy was almost making it not worth it. But for some reason, due to the fact of just how much this trophy really challenged what you knew about this game, made it so that it was just really something that I wanted to get. Me personally, I am a very big collector of trophies. It really only started once I got the PS4. I didn't really go for that many achievements on the 360. That was the last console that I had. But I think like PGA Tour has a relatively easy platinum trophy list. This is definitely the hardest one on the list. That one and the I guess not a lot of people have the one where you have to get 5 putts in a row in the practice, but I think that's just because a lot of people don't do the putting practice. But even that one is pretty easy because you can just set the difficulty to whatever you want and just abuse the gosh, that was a terrible swing. You can abuse the putt preview after that point. So like I was feeling really good. I think this is the point where like it really starts to go downhill. My swings are off, and again I'm getting like I'm rushing all of my swings, so it's just really starting to hurt me. And like I came in with a -3, so I'm doing great up until this point. And then next thing you know, I'm just start like I cannot hit a putt on this hole, and those 2 misses really hurt me right there. So I double bogey. So now like at this point, I'm not even thinking about it from the standpoint of my score. I'm looking at every birdie as though it was like a life. And every time I messed up, I lost a life in a video game, like an old school Mario video game or something like that. So here we have another mistake. And I really got to get my head in the game at this point because my swing is off. I wish that would have gone in. That would have been nice. And now I have this super far par 3 putt. And par 3s are the bane of my existence in this game. I hate them so much. My approach game is the weakest in this game. Luckily, I'm somehow able to land that last putt. But now I've got I got 3 bogeys that just wiped all of my good graces off of the map. So now I'm playing again back on even, and I have 3 holes left. So now it's just like me against the clock. So I take my moment, I get it back to practice swing. I realize at this point that I'm so tilted that like my swing is just off. So I do a couple of practice swings to get myself back into the groove of things. The only thing about a practice swing, and this will even happen in real life, of course, as soon as you get done with the practice swing and take a real one, you're back to messing up. I can say that they definitely nailed that aspect of the game correctly. Luckily here I get a lucky cart path bounce, so I get a little bit more pull. But boy, I really need to get this one in the hole. I don't think I can stand for another bogey, but I might just have to take one and really hope that I can make it up in the last few holes. Yep, there it is. Miss it. Come on. There we go. So I think that's like 4 bogeys in a row. At least 3 holes where I bogeyed. So it's a pretty bad finish going on right now, and I really got to pick it up or else it's not going to happen. I'm really feeling the pressure. Like I said, this is like at least my 7th or 8th attempt at this. Like full attempt, like full 18 holes in just to get the because at this point I was doing all 18 holes just to really get the full complete practice in. I don't know what I was doing there just for me to still get the swing off terribly. But fortunately I birdied the last hole, so now I'm back to even. Only issue though is this. I wish that would have gone in. That would have saved me a lot more trouble. But it was a good approach nonetheless, and I will absolutely take those. So now we're at the last hole. This is it. The only thing that sucks about this one is that there is some water on the right side, so I gotta avoid that. And you're like, oh yeah, it's easy to avoid that. Not if you just completely shank your shot, and then you are really done for at that point. So at this point, I'm just gotta play it safe. You know, just keep going towards the thing. I am not expecting a birdie. I just need to get close to the hole, par this bad boy in, and just be done with this trophy. I'm feeling it here. I'm getting closer and closer. Can't quite nail the birdie putt, which means one more. That's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. Never again. Never again do I have to do this. I am done.
Done.
So thanks for watching. I hope this video gave you some information and some tips that will help you out in the future. If you like it, please leave a like and subscribe for more content.